Do you notice a small local minority is now hating on turn-based strategy games? Like, for example, recently, Baldur's Gate 3. You know, it's a tactical RPG with Dungeon Dragons elements, and it's turn-based. And widely, this game is praised, okay? No one's really getting in a big mob and disrespecting this game. But, I don't know, it just, ever since turn-based RPGs have still been coming out, I noticed that there's been quite a bit of local minority people whining and complaining about turn-based strategy games coming out recently. And I don't quite understand it. You know, like, if you don't like the game, that's one thing. But when you turn around and hate on a genre and you say it's shit and there shouldn't be any more of this genre, and you know, oh my god, I hate this because it's turn-based strategy and not real-time action, I just question, what are you doing with your life? Because, let's be fair, shouldn't we have some turn-based games to level out the playing field of so many action-oriented role-playing games? Because I've seen a crap ton of role-playing games, and I'm not seeing enough turn-based strategy games, in my honest opinion. I don't think it's right to crap on a genre because you don't like it. No one is forcing you to play this genre, okay? Like, it's ridiculous. And to debunk this argument, because I've seen somebody comment about, Baldur's Gate 3 and saying, well, there hasn't been a great turn-based game before Baldur's Gate 3, and I will have to point that is completely incorrect. There has been really good games there that have been turn-based. You're just not looking hard enough. So let's take a look at these people that have been crapping on these turn-based role-playing games. And by no means am I taking a sneak diss at them, but I'm using an example to where the hate stems from these turn-based strategy or turn-based role-playing games.
Your Excellency,
Shut the fuck up! On top of all that, you have my two favorite things in any video game. Whoever made random encounters should be kicked into a fucking pit of spice and shot with a bazooka. Why would you put this in any game?
For years, I've
Despise turn-based combat. It's just that it's almost always accompanied by hundreds of horrible, brainless fights. A lot of games will throw easily dispatchable enemies at you. The difference is, you see a grunt, boom, dead. You see that Goomba, boom, gone. Now let's fight a level 1 snail in Octopath Traveler.
How about you? How about you? The thrill of the fight.
Okay, now do that 50 times and you can fight the next boss. There are promising elements somewhere in this game, but I don't think it's worth wading through a sea of monotonous grinding to find them.
You serious?
And it seems like the game is extremely popular. It's getting all of these awards and it's beating other games in terms of viewership on Twitch and stuff like that. And I really don't understand why this game is so popular. When I played the game, I just felt incredibly bored, and I felt like this game has absolutely nothing interesting or unique about it. I still stand by my points, and I still think it's one of the most boring games I've ever played in the last few years. Basically, it's just like a turn-based role-playing game where you got a lot of stats, and you level up your character, and you get gear. I mean, that's like basically every single role-playing game that's ever existed.
Turn-based RPGs have been around for a very long time, dating back to the 1980s with games like Dragon Quest and classic Final Fantasy. They consist of monotonous, slow-paced combat where you do an action, and then the enemy does an action, and then you again. It's honestly just a painfully outdated system that needs to go away, especially when you see what games are doing nowadays with explosive, fast-paced, energetic combat that doesn't make you feel like you're about to fall asleep in the middle of a fight. As much as people don't want to hear or accept this, turn-based combat is simply a thing of the past. Is what I would say if I didn't think that this take was straight up not true. Look, I'm not here to attack anyone's opinion on which they prefer in their games, but I want to discuss this topic because while it's been around for years now, I've seen the conversation get louder and louder more recently.
You know, a friend and I had a discussion about this about, let's say, 2 years ago. The Maverick Akiyama, he brought this up, and he's got a good opinion about turn-based games. He basically told me turn-based games is like playing chess. And that's what turn-based games are in general. It's like playing chess, figuring out what you have to do, what things you want to do while you have your turn. You know, do you want to cast a spell? Do you want to use items? Stuff like that to move. And I don't agree with the argument that all turn-based games are brainless, dead, and it takes no skill. That's just not true. Okay? There is quite a bit of genres where it does take skill. Okay? You can't just magically mash the attack button and hope to win in turn-based games. That's ludicrous. Look at Dragon Quest XI. You think you can just attack and never use abilities and think you're going to beat the entire game that way? You are fooling yourself. All right? Same with the indie game from last year, Sea of Stars. You can't fucking just wail on every enemy and expect to win. And I don't really get this argument that, oh, it's just mindless and you don't have to think of anything. That's, in my opinion, bullshit. It's just completely bullshit. And if you want to debate me on it, I will fucking debate you on it all day. Because that argument is so asinine and ridiculous. It's not even funny. But I think this hate train of turn-based role-playing games has to stop. If you don't like it, that's fine, but respect people that who do play it, because there is quite a bit of an audience that like to play turn-based games, and the genre does not need to go away. Okay? This mentality of wanting certain things to die is ludicrous. And I don't like these elitist attitude that I see lately with video game genres. Do I go to you and say, well, why playing a first-person shooter? You're a brain-dead retard. You should stop playing that. No, I'm not going to say that. You play what you want. Respect other people's choices. So let me know in the comment section how you feel about turn-based games. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you think the negative stigma should not be this loud? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section.